Well, good afternoon, and thanks for watching THV 11 News at noon. I'm Amanda Jaeger. Michael Aaron has the day off. We've got meteorologist Nathan Scott here joining us. I know there were some concerns overnight about possible storms. Seems like all of those concerns are now dissolved, at least for now.
We pretty much made it through the night without a scratch. There were some severe thunderstorm warnings, but no reports of any damage, so that's some good news. The front continues to make its way off to the east, and we're seeing the benefits from that front of passage with lower humidity building its way in here from the west and southwest. So your Monday is going to be quiet. Temperatures very pleasant into the mid 70s, 77 right now in Pine Bluff. We're seeing a mixture of sun and clouds across the region, 66 in Fayetteville. And take a look at the radar. There's where the front is. East Arkansas still producing a thin line of some showers moving through extreme eastern parts of Arkansas County, getting into Phillips County. So that's where you're going to run into the chance of showers through the rest of the day. It's on the breezy side, though. We got those winds kicking in from the southwest, about 10 to as much as 20 miles per hour. So the trees are doing a little bit of a dance, and look at your dew points. They're dropping down from the 60s that we saw yesterday into the upper 50s. So it's going to feel more comfortable out there. Here's your forecast today. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds on the breezy side. Highs topping out into the upper 70s to lower 80s. But the weather pattern is unsettled this week. We've got more chances of showers and storms, and then big changes going into the weekend. I'll give you a hint. Get the sweaters ready. I'll have more in the forecast later.
New information this afternoon about a shooting in Little Rock that left one man dead and another person with injuries. It happened around 5 Sunday evening near the 9100 block of Oxer Road in southwest Little Rock. Officers were called to that 5800 block of Hutzel Road near Geyer Springs, where the victims were taken after it happened. They arrived to find a man suffering from a gunshot inside a vehicle. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. A second teenage victim was also taken to a hospital to be treated for injuries. Police say the investigation is ongoing, and anyone with information on what happened is asked to contact LRPD. The governor will make a decision on congressional redistricting plans coming up later this week. Last Thursday, we told you the Arkansas House and Senate approved identical bills that split portions of Pulaski County among the 1st, 2nd, and 4th congressional districts. Right now, it's all in the 2nd district. Democrats, who have tried unsuccessfully in recent years to flip the Republican-held seat, essentially called the move, quote, racial gerrymandering. Governor Asa Hutchinson said he's reviewing the redistricting proposal, and he has until the end of the week to sign or veto the bills. Also at the Capitol, it's back to the drawing board for supporters of a COVID-19 vaccine privacy bill. It would have banned businesses from requiring employees to disclose their vaccination status, creating a right of privacy. It passed in the Senate but was rejected in the House. The bill is among several targeting employer vaccine requirements that dominated the session that ended on Friday. Let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers in Arkansas now. The state reached, unfortunately, a grim milestone over the weekend as the total number of COVID-related deaths surpassed 8,000. 289 deaths were reported yesterday, but according to Governor Hutchinson, that large increase comes from a data correction. As of this afternoon, there are 548 Arkansans battling the virus from a hospital bed, and that is a significant drop since this time last week. And we could be just weeks away from having the first FDA-approved coronavirus treatment that patients can receive at home. CBS's Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
Merck has asked the FDA for an emergency use authorization for the first pill to treat COVID after clinical trials showed it helped save lives.
Dramatically, by 50%, reduce hospitalization and death. So an oral pill that works against COVID-19 hospitalization.
Current treatments such as Regeneron require patients to receive infusions. The Merck drug could be given at home, relieving the crush of COVID cases in hospitals.
As soon as it's FDA approved, we can start to prescribe it to patients rather than them having to come into an emergency room and be given intravenous therapy of an antibody or a shot of an antibody. They can get a pill.
Health officials say the new COVID treatment is exciting, but they say the best measure against COVID is still for people to get vaccinated.
We still have around 68 million people who are eligible to be vaccinated that have not yet gotten vaccinated.
Vaccine hesitancy is even greater among parents, debating whether their children should get the vaccine if the FDA approves it for kids 5 to 11. A new CBS News poll shows 35% of parents surveyed say they will not let their children get the vaccine. 26% are unsure.
I think there's a lot of information available. It certainly makes me confident about vaccinating my kids. And for those parents who still have a lot of questions, I would urge them to have a discussion with their pediatrician about the pros and cons of vaccination.
Politics is one of the key factors in whether parents will vaccinate their children, with 61% of Democrats saying yes and 56% of Republican parents saying no. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The FDA will meet 2 weeks from tomorrow to discuss whether to approve the vaccine for children. Meanwhile, the government has already ordered enough of the Merck pills to treat 1.7 million Americans. They'll distribute them to the states if the FDA approves its use. Now, at one point during this pandemic, most hospitals made the tough decision to stop visitors from entering any buildings. Now, with the number of new cases declining, one Arkansas hospital is relaxing its visitation policy. So starting tomorrow, the Central Arkansas Veterans Healthcare System will drop from a high alert level to an elevated level. And that is a big deal for them, because what this means is that veterans with appointments, procedures, anything else that cannot be done virtually can now be done in the hospital with one visitor.
A little bit more clinical service, more face-to-face, but still being very, very careful about the COVID surge.
Patients who are suffering from serious or terminal illnesses will be able to have an extra person by their bedside. They're hoping by November 1st, the hospital will be able to open back up to pre-pandemic levels. Arkansas native and former Dallas Cowboy great Cliff Harris is helping encourage Arkansans to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The Pro Football Hall of Famer is making several stops tomorrow at free vaccination clinics. He'll be at UAMS, CHI St. Vincent in Little Rock, and at Healthy Connections on Central Avenue in Hot Springs. He'll host a meet and greet for people who come by to get their COVID vaccine. But COVID isn't the only virus to keep an eye on. We are approaching flu season. Can't forget about it. Experts have been warned people should keep a close eye on their health as COVID-19 continues to spread alongside the flu this coming winter. Millions of children get sick with the flu every year, and tens of thousands are hospitalized with a different respiratory virus, RSV. A new study conducted at an Ohio children's hospital from October 2020 through April 2021 shows that wearing masks and social distancing largely stopped the common viruses from spreading last season. In their study, researchers found just 2 cases of flu and no cases of RSV. But restrictions relaxed in mid-March and those viral infections returned.
We didn't really expect that we would see spreading of winter respiratory viruses in the summer. It just shows you that these viruses, which are really very contagious, will take advantage of us as we open up, gather together, take off our masks.
The CDC recommends everyone ages 6 months and older get that flu vaccine. They say it is safe to get your flu shot and COVID vaccine at the same time. 12:08, and the real estate market took off during the pandemic, and it doesn't look like that's changing much. Naomi Ruckham explains.
California couple Joop Spork and Sarah Von Slokmat's search for a home came with challenges. There were limited options in their price range, and 2 offers they made were turned down. But after months of looking, the third time was a charm. They bought this small 2-bedroom.
We feel like we were very, very lucky that our third offer got accepted, because we've heard stories from friends that they took way longer than we did.
The red-hot real estate market cooled a little this summer, but is still sizzling. The latest numbers show pending home sales rose more than 8% in August compared with July.
We still have a very hot market.
And CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says that continues to drive home prices up nearly 15% from a year ago. The median price for an existing home is $356,000.
The vast majority of homes are selling in less than a month. And this has really been tough on people who are entering the housing market because the affordability has really changed.
I think sooner or later people give up. And they just say it's not for me.
Bruce McNeilage has a solution for frustrated buyers. His company develops rental communities in Tennessee, giving people who can't afford to buy a home the opportunity to rent a traditional house.
The pandemic has been the best thing for our business because people aren't buying, so they're renting.
It may be an attractive model because experts forecast home prices could continue to rise. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
All right, thank you, Naomi. We do have some more bad news for potential home buyers. Mortgage rates have been on the rise recently.